Hi, welcome back to the Platinum Yard Hi-Fi and AV review channel. Today I'm reviewing the Gato DPA 2506. It's a multi-channel power amplifier. It has 6 channels of amplification and it's rated at 250 watts into 8 ohms. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button for more weekly content. Now let's get this amplifier unboxed and I'll see you guys right after the intro. Double boxed for extra protection during transport. One standard power lead. Your instruction manual and product brochure. And one absolutely beautiful power amplifier. Right, now I need to calm down because I appreciate what I'm seeing may or may not translate through your screen. This is one of the best looking amplifiers I've ever seen and I'm curious to hear how this thing sounds. Okay, let's get this amp connected to my surround sound processor, but before we do that, let's head to Gato's official website to check out the spec. Gato specialise in building high-end audiophile products which include amplifiers, integrated amplifiers, streamers, CD transporters and headphone amplifiers. So let's check out the spec of the multi-channel amplifier that we've got in for review today. The DPA 2506 is a 6-channel power amplifier that is available for €4,395. Here you can see that the amplifier is available in 4 different colours. You can also contact Gato directly for a customised option. So let's check the specs. So this amplifier is very powerful and it can also be easily configured with many options. Here you can see that it powers 6 channels with 250 watts into 8 ohms. The amp can also be bridged, providing 500 watts into 3 channels, or 250 watts into 2 channels and 500 watts into 2 bridged channels, or 500 watts into 1 bridge channel and 250 watts into the remaining 4 channels. You can also see that the power rating doubles down for 4 ohm loads. This is often seen with pure Class A amplifiers and it's nice to see this Class D amp support this technical design. The frequency response between 20 and 20 kHz is ruler flat at 0.5 dB. They also provide a 2 Hz and 70 kHz rating at -3 dB. All power ratings are measured at 0.01 THD. The signal to noise on this thing is incredibly low at 110 dB. You need 2 volts of power to optimally drive the amplifier via RCA, or 4 volts via balanced input. The amplifier provides 26 dB of gain and supports 4 to 16 ohm load speakers. It's important to note that Gato do not recommend bridging 4 ohm load speakers. That said, I've bridged mine and it sounds fantastic, but I'll get into that later. Now back to the spec. Connectors. We have 3 pairs of gold-plated XLR connections, 3 pairs of gold-plated RCA, 6 pairs of gold-plated banana plugs, and 1 12-volt trigger. Size and weight. So this has a 2000 watt power supply, so it's a pretty compact powerhouse. At 32 centimeters wide, 10 centimeters high, and 42 centimeters deep, things pretty small. It weighs in at 13 kilograms, which isn't really a lot considering how much power you get and the amount of channels inside the box. Gato also offer free worldwide shipping and a 30-day free trial, so if you don't like it, you can get a refund with no quibbles. Now let's get this amplifier hooked up to my Macintosh surround sound processor, which has some fantastic musical chops and provides enough voltage gain to synergize with most amplifiers. Now feel free to pop some headphones on and join me for the Platinum Yard demo. So, I've had the Gato in for a while now, and I've listened to a bunch of my own instrumentals and also critically listened to some of my R&B favourites and live reggae music. And what I immediately noticed was that the Gato presented a laid-back, smooth and non-offensive sound. Vocals were less forward than I was used to, but music seemed to be controlled, with great timing and rhythm. What I also found interesting was the fact that the Gato has so much character visually. It's a real statement piece, especially in person. And with that said, it certainly isn't the case when we talk about the Gato's sound signature. Now there's a few things that I've noted about the Gato that will help me describe how it sounds. So, I mostly listen to music on Spotify and use my TV as the source, which connects to my Macintosh processor. When flicking through the menu, there's an audible sound that chimes each time you flick through the application. Now the chime isn't recorded perfectly, and it's accompanied by static and distortion. And I've heard this flaky sound with numerous amplifiers and AV receivers, but with the Gato, the static sound is somehow filtered out. I was also listening to one of my instrumentals on YouTube, and it's got some pretty harsh hi-hats, and with the Gato, it's not so noticeable. And I later realised that I'm not just talking about hi-hats and static, I'm talking about most harsh sounds. The amp isn't overly concerned about critical detail, and it seems to be driven more towards easy listening. For movies and home theatre, the Gato really starts to shine. Now in comparison to music recordings, some movies are actually recorded with pretty bad audio, and the Gato has a way of making dialogue somewhat easier to listen to, especially scenes where actors are walking across stone or gravel at loud listening levels. TV programmes also sound great. Again, it goes back to that easy listening feel that you get with the Gato. The Gato also does a great job of making your surround sounds sound very integrated and like one cohesive unit. I think the Gato performs much better as a multi-channel amplifier than it does 2-channel. And the 2 kilowatt power supply works wonders when there's multiple things happening through various speakers. So this amplifier's certainly got its pros, but there is a few cons. So I've spoke about its chilled and relaxed nature, and at times it can take the edge off dramatic scenes.
Live or die.
Now the Ashoka clip is a great example, as my previous setup made me feel the tension each time the lightsabers were switched on. With the Gato, these scenes just felt slightly more relaxed and a little bit less engaging. It's worth noting that my previous setup wasn't a one box solution and I was running multiple amplifiers in a monoblock configuration. As a result, I guess I'm also used to slightly more dynamic range. But putting impact to one side and bearing in mind this is a multi-channel amplifier that offers tremendous power with one mains lead makes this quite an extraordinary product. And I also think it's worth noting that this is the quietest amplifier I've had in my system to date. I mean, I can hear nothing at all from a listening seat. I can even stand and walk towards my speaker without knowing I've got the electronics on. And as a result, this creates an inky dark background, which makes movies like A Quiet Place even more realistic. Another thing that's great about the Gato's low noise floor is that everything just simply sounds cleaner. You can hear everything without having to turn the volume up at crazy listening levels. Now this amplifier's got lots of power, and I'm pretty certain it's got more power than anyone would need. But at the back of my mind, I started to wonder what would happen if I switched the amplifier into bridge mode. So, of course, I had to find out. And with bridge mode engaged, the Gato will indicate that there's 3 channels in operation. Now the result with twice the power wasn't exactly what I expected. I thought everything would be twice as loud. I didn't have to make any trim changes to the channel gains for the left, centre and right channels. So I was slightly confused and wondered whether I'd bridged the amp correctly. But then I sat down and found myself enjoying my music way more than I had before. The soundstage became wide as well as deep, and with that quiet background, certain notes just popped out. There was also a sense of space and air in the music, and some of those sounds that were sort of smudged out before were now here, but the Gato remained true to its silky or chocolatey type of sound signature. Now for me, after hearing this, it's pretty hard for me to flick the settings back, as it's probably one of the best sounding amplifiers I've heard. But that also means that I've lost my one box solution, as I now need to power my surround sound channels with another amplifier. But I guess this is all first world problems, because what you've got here is a beast of an amplifier that will satisfy a cinemaphile's needs for multi-channel listening. And for those audiophiles that want a powerful but compact amplifier, this beast will tick all of your boxes, especially in bridge mode. So, what's your thoughts on the Gato? At just under £4,000 for a 6-channel powerful amplifier, do you think this presents good value for money? And is Class D your thing? Leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit that subscribe button and drop a like, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.